Hello everyone. So today we have with us Ronak Tyagi. She is All India rank 35 in CAPF Assistant Commandant 2020. Hello Ronak.
Hello, sir.
So how are you?
Sir, I'm very good.
Wow, what a monumental achievement you have achieved, right?
Thank you, sir.
You know, when the results came, what were you exactly doing?
Sir, actually, I was studying in the library, and then I get few phone calls. Then I ignored initially, but then one call came from my friend that only calls when some result comes.
Right.
So then I opened the telegram. I didn't receive his call. Then I opened telegram, and there was congratulations. Then I checked the result, and I was looking near 100 and around. Then I have to scroll up, and then I saw that I was ranked 35. I was thrilled.
Wow. So before you knew that, everyone knew that, right? Before you checked the result, the whole world knew that Ronak Tyagi has been selected, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And then my father knew already that I was selected, and I called him, and he said, just okay, be calm and just come to home.
That's so sweet of him. Okay. So Ronak, just a very brief introduction about you, you know.
So I did my schooling from the Kendra Vidyalaya, and I belong to Delhi, and also my hometown is in Uttar Pradesh. And I did my graduation from Delhi University, and I'm a BTech student in computer science.
Okay, in BTech Computer Science. So you come from the IT domain.
Yes, sir.
That's very
And
good.
that helped me a lot in my interview as well.
You have any kind of work experience also?
No, sir. Since then, I have been preparing for the UPSC CSE.
Okay, you're preparing for simultaneously for UPSC CSE?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're giving also the CAPF exam?
Yes, sir. Because the syllabus is very overlapping, and I have a love for the uniform. So that way, I gave the CAPF as.
So before CAPF, any other defense exams you've given?
Yes, sir. I have appeared in the I gave CDS examination as well. But I haven't prepared for the interview. I was screened out twice.
So this is more or less like a blessing in disguise. Now you're finally selected.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. If not CAPF, supposedly, then what was your plan B?
So then I will be preparing for the CSE only.
For the civil services.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I talk about the ForumIAS, how you came to know about it? That you were a part of interview guidance program also. Yes. So how did you come to know about it, and what was your experience?
So I came to know about it from my friend. Okay. He has given mock interview here. And the experience was very good here because because of the mock interview I gave here, I was very familiar to the process, and I was very confident during my interview there. Okay, you were very more or less injected confidence. Yes, sir, definitely. And one of the sir has said that you will be definitely selected, and that line was in my head when I was going to the interview, and that has boosted my confidence to another level. Wow. And because he was already selected assistant commandant, and then he's saying, so that gave me the confidence. Yes. So what was your daily routine, if I ask? So generally I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and then I study for an hour. And then when I was preparing for the physical, then I used to go to the park and do heavy exercises. But now I have been continuing it at the home, all the exercises, the squats and all, for 1 hour specifically. Then I do the yoga and the meditation for my mental health. And then I study at library from 9 to 8. In the library, and then... So the whole day is packed? Yes, sir. So if I talk about civil services, right? So yes, there we have more or less focus upon mental health. Yes. But in terms of CAPF, it requires physical health top notch, right? Yes. How did you maintain the balance? So as this was my second attempt, and in my previous attempt, I was not able to qualify the physical efficiency test. So you were already disqualified previously on the basis of physical, oh wow. Yes. So I was disqualified in the long jump. I was able to manage both the races, but as it is seen that most of the girls were disqualified in the physical efficiency test, specifically in the long jump. So it was very entrenched in my heart that I was disqualified, because I was having a very good physical stature throughout my life. I have been going to the park, and I have been doing the gym activities, but so that was, I was very clear that I have to focus more on the physical part this year. So first of all, there is one relative, he's a lieutenant in the army. He suggested me to take some professional help, and also he advised me to have a very perfect diet, because earlier I used to have, I was eating potatoes in everything.
So it was whole of a
Carb diet.
based.
Yes, sir. So I restricted my diet, and I never imagined, but I used to have just lunch in the afternoon, and there is one thing fixed, that I have to have a dalia and lot of the vegetable and the sprouts and all, everything
So
healthy.
one full meal a day, that's it.
That's it. And no, but I was supplementing it with the fruits, vegetables, and the raw material, everything. I was stuffing myself. So in that way, I lost my weight, and also this helped me to increase my stamina. And there is one thing that, because now I know that in the physical test, you have to go to the park or wherever you are doing the practice and do all 3 activities in a single go. Not just you are preparing for 100 meters differently and then you are preparing for the 800 meters, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming. Because when I was giving physical efficiency test, it was very hot. My head was burning. Everyone's head was burning. Yes. It was very hot, and then you have to do first the 100 meters, and then you have to do the 800 meters, and then after 5 minutes they ask you to come to the long jump thing. And when the girls are not able to complete the task, you feel very demotivated, and they give 3 chances. Generally it happens that earlier it happened to me as well, that I was jumping 10 to 11 feet, but I was faulting at the initial. So this time I made a strategy that I would be jumping 1 foot behind the line, so that I would not be stepping on the line. So this was my strategy for the long jump, and keep on practicing, because I was very poor in my physical earlier when I started. For 100 meters, I had a I was completing my race in 22 seconds, and all the boys that were preparing alongside with me for the Delhi police, they were laughing at me कि इतना time कौन लगाता है 100 meters में.
Like a Chuck the India movement, right? They were laughing at the girls, okay.
नहीं, because they were finishing it in 12 seconds.
Oh, right.
12 सेकंड 13 सेकंड, और मेरे को 22 सेकंड लग रहे थे रेस कंप्लीट करने में. और मेरे पापा भी बोलते थे क्या तुमसे नहीं हो रहा है, तुम नहीं हो रहा, तुम चलो घर. ठीक है, तो फिर बट माई मॉम सपोर्टेड मी वेरी वेल, एंड नहीं रोना, एक और बार भाग. और लॉन्ग जंप में भी मेरे को क्या होता था, मैं 7-8 फुट पे कूद रही हूँ हमेशा, और वो लाइन कभी क्रॉस ही नहीं हो रही है. ठीक है, तो फिर दिन में मैं जब एक बार उसमें 10 बार कूद रही हूँ, 12 बार कूद रही हूँ, वो नहीं हो रहा है. फिर भी मम्मी बोलती हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हो. और एक चीज़ बहुत सप्लीमेंट किया कि पैर दर्द हो जाते हैं सब कुछ. मम्मी पार्क जाने से पहले पूरी मालिश करेंगी, फिर उसके आने के बाद 1 घंटा मालिश करेंगी. तो इट आई वुड से दैट फिजिकल एफिशिएंसी टेस्ट में बहुत मेहनत लगती है, एंड माई मदर डिड इट ऑल फॉर मी.
So it was, it reflects your perseverance, never give up attitude. मैं already disqualified physical में हुई हूँ, मैं उसी को ही overcome करूँगी. That's so inspiring. Okay, so if I talk about CAPF exam specifically, so was it a test with destiny, or someone pushed you up कि नहीं तुम्हें prepare करना है?
So actually I was giving civil services, so I was not able to clear. So, and also there was an inspiration because my whole family is in police services. So there was an inspiration that I have to take if I say in my village language, that belt wali naukri karni hai. So I gave the CAPF, and because I was prepared for the CSE, so I think this helped me a lot in clearing the examination, the paper 1 and paper 2. And then after that, the whole credit goes to my mother, because she pushed me a lot for the physical and for the interview. कि नहीं, एक और मौका दे दो रौनक, एक और बार ये इन सर से बात करो, ये भी तुमको बहुत अच्छा बताएंगे.
So you owe your success to your mother.
Right? My mother.
Okay. So is there any ideal time to start the preparation? After school, college, or during job?
This preparation can be started at any time, because there are standard books. You have to read those books. And if I think you complete those books, it is very easy to clear the examination. And I think anyone, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
So you're already, simultaneously preparing for civil services also, yes, right? So any special strategy, for those students who are even, doing the same, that what extra I should put in, to prepare simultaneously for the CAPF exam?
So in civil services prelims and in the CAPF paper 1, there is little difference that alongside the static questions, there is some factual questions also from the current affairs. For example, that they give some operation and who conducted this operation. For example, there are options BSF and other services. So if someone is preparing for the other defense services, for example CDS, they can watch some videos. For example, there is one online platform, I think Government Exam Funda. So in that they put some factual question videos from which they can prepare the current affairs. And also there are some maths questions as well, reasoning and maths, quantitative. So in the maths portion, reasoning is very easy as I'm not very good in the quant. So I left all those questions and I focus more on...
Okay, you left altogether.
Yes, I left all the mathematics questions. I did the reasoning questions, but I left all those questions and I focused more or less on the GS. So, and I was scoring well enough. You can easily attempt more than 100 questions easily. If
Out
you
of
are
125?
Yes, sir. If you are well versed with comfortable with the GS part. Because questions are more or less conceptual, apart from few factual questions from the current affairs. And in the paper too. If you see, there are essays, there is essay writing, and there is argument-based question. You have to give argument in favor and against, and there is report writing. So for this, you can refer to the previous year question papers, and also there is some model test papers also available on the internet freely. You can access them, and if you are reading newspaper and you are following any monthly magazine, it can be anything, then you would find the paper 2 very comfortable. But the trick here is to manage the time while you are writing the paper, because in my last attempt, I find it difficult to complete the paper because there was in the comprehension, it was like that. They have given the full length paper and the question seems to be repeated. Like what they are asking in the first question, it feels like they are asking similar in the second question. So there you have to show your creativity in comprehension as well. You don't have to stick to the comprehension given itself. That's what I did.
So more or less answer writing is on same lines as we do in the civil services also?
So as the essay here is very, it's of like 250 or 300 words. So it's just like that.
Like one 15 marker of civil services. Very nice.
Yes, sir. So if someone is preparing for CIC, he can easily clear it. And if someone is not preparing, it can be done very easily. You have to just go through the monthly magazine and prepare the current topics, because generally it is seen that the question and the argument or the essay, they have been coming very from the topic that are in the news. And so what happens is like for the essay, I would say that prepare for the introduction and the conclusion for the topics, very common topics like the social topic, the women, children.
Right, whatever is in contemporary news.
Contemporary news. So it would be very easy to write the answer. So I think so.
So if I may ask, like, which newspaper you referred?
As it is common for the UPSC aspirant, the Hindu.
The Hindu only. And how much time you spend, on reading it?
I read newspaper very thoroughly, so I just 1 to 1.5
So you prepare notes out of it?
So no, I don't prepare notes because then it becomes very bulky and very difficult to revise. I rely on the monthly magazine or the yearly compilation for the mains that is released in the market. I just refer to those.
So on the other hand, specifically for the current affairs?
So for the current affairs, I think newspaper is enough. And for the current affairs, I have been referring these magazines.
Monthly magazines and all. So is it advisable to make, notes specifically for the CAPF? Because for the civils, we know that yes, it is very much required, both for the prelims as well as for the mains part. But for CAPF, is it recommended?
So if you are making notes, then it is very good for you, because then you would be able to recall the whatever information you need in while writing the things. But I think you have to have a balance between note making and retaining the information, because only note making will not be sufficient for this. Because I think what helps me in writing is the structuring part, and it also helped me in the interview part as well, because whenever you have to give your answer, it has to be in the structured manner. And if you practice this in the paper too, it will definitely help you in the interview as well, because there you will be asked question, and as you have suggested me that structure your answers well and end your answer with the practical solution and the practical example. So I think
that is what is required.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. So if I ask specifically about the paper one, right? Yes. So we have 125 MCQs.
Yes.
So what specifically, you books you refer to, or the generally people, refer that polity, I'll refer Lakshmikant. For the civils also they refer, right? So, but specifically for the CAPF, what should the person refer?
So I think the books are more or less same as the CSE. The standard books are sufficient. If the students want to score high, they can practice for the quantitative differently from the CSE that they have been preparing for the CSAT also. So I think the standard books, like as you said, the Lakshmikant for the polity, and for the economy, I refer to the Mrunal notes. Right. Because economy, they asked a few questions, and you have to prepare the budget as well. And few questions, the budget, I think the 3 questions were from the budget alone. Okay. So the economy, you have to prepare well. The geography part.
The history part from the NCERT or the spectrum one?
Yes, sir. Spectrum, and for the R.S. Sharma, ancient and the medieval, because it is very difficult to remember the stuff. So I think history is this part, and the geography ke liye we can refer those the 4 NCERTs of the 11th and the 12th class.
So more or less the preparation of CAPF as well as CSE, it goes parallel.
Yes, sir, it goes parallel.
So what about paper 2? Any specific books you referred for that?
So I watch videos for the pressure writing because उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा बैलेंस करके लिखना होता है, और मैंने उसको यही स्ट्रैटेजी थी मेरी. पहले मैंने उसको पेंसिल से लिखा बिकॉज बॉक्स होते हैं उसके अंदर बने हुए आते हैं, और उसके अंदर आपको एक एक वर्ड लिखना होता है. तो मैं पहले उसको जो भी मेरे को एसेंस लगा उसका पूरा जो भी पैसेज है, मैं उसको जो भी मेरे को
एक रफ ड्राफ्ट,
हाँ, मैं पहले पेंसिल से लिखती थी मैं उसको, बिकॉज मैं उसमें टाइम देती थी अपना उसके अंदर. और मैंने मैं सबसे लास्ट में मैंने पेपर ऐसे डिवाइड किया था कि पहले मैंने अपने ऐसे बहुत अच्छे लिखे, मैंने अपना प्रेसे बहुत अच्छा लिखा, मुझे कॉम्प्रीहेंशन था वो मैं सबसे लास्ट में कर रही थी, और फिर सबसे लास्ट में ग्रामर किया था, पर कॉम्प्रीहेंशन लास्ट में किया क्योंकि इसके अंदर आप अपनी इनोवेशन दिखा सकते हो. प्रेशर राइटिंग में आपको अपनी इनोवेशन नहीं दिखानी है, आपको बहुत ही क्लियर टू द पॉइंट लिखना,
टू द वर्ड लिमिट.
लेकिन उसमें क्योंकि बॉक्स ही आपके पास इतना ही लिखना है,
right.
तो मैं यही सजेस्ट करूँगी उसके अंदर आप पहले पेंसिल से लिख के, फिर जब आपको लग रहा है कि सब चीज़ें अपने पूरा निकल रहा है अच्छे से, तब उसको इरेज करके लिखो.
Finalize it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how many mocks you have attended for paper 1?
Sir, I haven't attended any mocks this year because I was already writing mocks for the prelims of the
civil services.
So it helped me there.
Very nice. So according to you, what are the good attempts out of 125 questions? If how many you consider that it's you are in the safe zone now?
Yes, sir. So it is very difficult to say because everyone has a different pattern, because I used to do very wrong questions and there is a negative marking. So I generally attempt more so that if there is negative marking, then I will make it. So generally, sir, I think if I'm not able to recall the exact number, but I have attempted more than 105 or something. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because sir, मुझे चाहिए होता है इतना. Math छोड़ने के बाद पूरा GS तो attempt करना ही पड़ेगा.
So any special strategy regarding attempting the paper?
Yes, sir. मैं first of all, what helped me in the attempting the paper, first of all, जितने भी मेरे को क्वेश्चन उसमें आ रहे होते थे वो तो मैं करती जाती थी, और मैंने ऐसे पीछे के लिए छोड़ती थी कि मैं सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में करूँ क्योंकि वो मेरे छूट ही जाते हैं. तो मेरा यही है कि जो लग रहे हैं उनको क्वेश्चन जिसमें भी डाउट भी है वो भी तभी फाइनलाइज करके अपना मैं भर देती थी, और फिर सेकंड गो में मैं मुश्किल से 10 से 5 क्वेश्चन से ज़्यादा नहीं करती अटेंड, क्योंकि फिर वो मेरे ज़्यादातर गलत ही होते हैं. ये मैंने अपने मॉक में एक पैटर्न देखा है कि कैसे जैसे नॉर्मली टॉपर सजेस्ट करते हैं कि पहले एक गो में 50 क्वेश्चन करो, फिर दूसरे गो में 60 क्वेश्चन करो, बिकॉज इट जनरली हैपन्स टू मी कि मैं जो पहले मेरा जो सही चल रहा होता है वही
मेंटेन द फ्लो.
यस सर, मैं पूरा पेपर एक ही गो में अटेम्प्ट करती हूँ सारा, और सेकेंड राउंड में मैं सिर्फ मुश्किल से 10 से 5 क्वेश्चन और अटेम्प्ट करती हूँ, और उसमें भी ज़्यादातर गलत निकलते हैं.
सो ऑनेस्ट. ओके, सो एनी अमाउंट ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस यू अटेम्प्टेड कि हाँ मुझे ये करने हैं?
So for paper 2, I attempted previous year papers.
You refer to that?
Yes, sir. I refer to that. I saw the themes that has been asked for the essays and for the type of question they have been asking for the report writing and the arguments question. Okay. So I attempted those papers.
So any time constraint while attempting the paper? Both paper 1, paper 2?
Yes, sir. I did one mock paper within the time limits.
So within the time limit.
And my previous attempt was for me as a mock test.
Okay. So for the paper 2, any standard books you refer to?
For the paper 2, no, sir, I watched the videos and I focused on the previous year papers alone.
Previous year you
Yes,
mostly
sir.
referred to. Okay, so coming to the interview part, how was the DAF session?
So the DAF session, I think they are very important for because most of the questions are coming from the DAF, as I've seen. They are focusing on the graduation, the knowledge of your graduation subjects, and also for me the more questions were very personal questions they have asked from me. For example, as you asked in the beginning, what was your daily schedule? Do you have friends? Do you have male friends or just female friends? Right. So these type of the question they have asked. What are the outdoor activities you do? Because by looking at my score, they're thinking that maybe I'm very introvert kind of a person. Right. So they specifically asked, do you have friends? What is your social life? So they were asking questions like this. So be prepared. And one question they asked, the eve teasing question, have you ever been eve teased? So I answered that I'm living in Delhi. So they laughed. And
okay, that's nice.
So I think the DAF is very important, and the DAF you should have get your DAF analyzed with multiple people, because then you will get the very different ideas, like what questions can be prepared. And I think when you go into the chain of the thoughts, like if this is asked, then what next question could be, because this helped me in analyzing the pattern, and actually this helped me to for example narrate my interview, because I knew कि अगर ये question में ये answer दोगे तो क्या question बनेगा, इसमें से दोगे तो क्या answer.
So you more or less led the panel, right?
Yes, sir. Because sir, there is one thing that, as you said, that there is NGO Kalam Center. From the Kalam Center, I have to read everything about the Kalam, sir. I have to read about the power of dreams and everything. So I think if one is preparing for the CAPF interview, it should be done in the 3 parts. The DAF is the most important part, then the current events, and then the situation-based question. So I focus more on the DAF and the current affairs.
Okay. So how many mocks you have taken? Because I still remember when we were taking your mock, you was literally trembling.
Yes, sir. So I worked hard for the interview, because I was very low on confidence earlier. So I practiced a lot, and I think when earlier it was speculated that the interview will be held in mid-October. So when there is this UPSC CSE interview was going on, so I just went to every institute where the mock has been conducted, and I just sat there and gave the interview. And I think, I don't remember, 5 to 6 mock I gave in the September and October. Right. And then after that, there are people who are preparing for the interview along with me. Mm-hmm. So we generally used to have one-on-one mock in the morning. I used to give 1 to 2 hours in the morning for the mock practice, and then in the evening I used to discuss the newspaper, whatever I have read, because I have a problem of English that now I'm also having a problem, but that time I was not very fluent. So I used to do the narration of the newspaper or the article I have read in the evening. So in that part, I did my preparation. For example, I divided my preparation in the internal security, and then the yearly current affair of the internal security, and then the international relations. Okay. So in that way, I did all the current affairs in a very systematic manner.
So you also had, peer interviews also simultaneously.
Yes, sir. And one more important thing, whenever you are feeling nervous, just give interview to your friend. For example, I have my friend in the IT sector, and I was having a IT background. Right. So whenever I feel like I gave interview to them, because they have very different perspective. They ask very different type of question. So by the end of the preparation, I felt like that I think I could not witness any very unexpected question from me, and that thing happened to me in the interview. I was very confident, and I think there was most of the questions were which I have heard earlier.
So you already killed the hesitancy before.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
So it was just another day. The interview just another day for you, right?
Yes.
That's very nice. So what is the basic difference between mocks and real interview? I guess for you it was hardly.
Yes, sir. Because the last interview I gave here, right. And it was in the dress that I selected for. मतलब जो मेरे को यहाँ पे पहननी थी, मैंने वो ही मुझे वहाँ पहननी थी. तो for me it was the final interview which I gave at your place, and that was just another day for me. And the board, the panel we have our this institute was very familiar and very cordial, and there was, when I gave interview at the UPSC, it was very cordial, and they make you comfortable, very comfortable there, and it was nothing to be feared of. And I think if you practice on your communication skills and your answers, you will certainly gain confidence and you will work upon things. Because I remember the first interview I gave, I was trembling, and when the chairman stopped questioning me, I just sat there and I was about to leave the room, and they said, just बैठो अभी बाकी लोग भी question पूछेंगे.
So any specific questions you remember from the real interview?
Yes, sir. So when I mentioned the Eve teasing question, and also, so in the interview, what I did, I don't know what happened, but they were asking questions which I felt that they are going to ask. For example, they asked me the question on the protection data law, because I was from the IT background. I expected this question, so I just used the word there, the surveillance. Because in explaining the things, surveillance. Then they asked, do you think the surveillance should be done? Then I gave some answer, and because of the surveillance, they asked the question on the Pegasus. So in the Pegasus, I used deliberately that there is a term, zero-click threat, malware. Then what is this? Then I answered that it is a threat in which you don't have to click on any call or receive any call. They just give you a missed call, and it will be deleted before you see it from the call log. Then you will never get to know that it was there is some call or there is some malware installed in your phone. And they were like, अच्छा ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं, very good, very nice. They said very good so many times during the interview, and they said that you have very good knowledge about your graduation. Because when they asked about the Pegasus, after that they asked the question, then how will you use technology, your IT background in the CAPF? Then I was very in touch with my IT friends.
This we also discussed in the DAF session.
Yes, we discussed in the DAF session, and I gave that answer. From that they asked, अच्छा इसमें ये भी कर सकते हैं, इसमें ये भी कर सकते हैं.
You were already prepared for that.
Yes, sir. So it was like more or like जैसा मैं चाह रही थी वैसा ही होता जा रहा था.
See, that is so smart of you that with every answer of yours, you provided a leading keyword.
Yes.
And they again answer the keyword. Then with every answer, you again left a keyword.
Yes, sir.
That's so smart of you. That's very nice. Okay, Ronak, one more thing. It's been a tough journey for you, right?
Yes,
it's been
definitely.
so strenuous. What kept you, move on? What's the source of motivation?
So I think my source of motivation is my mother. Because she keeps on pushing me कि मैं बोलती थी मम्मी SSC का एग्ज़ाम और बैंकिंग का एग्ज़ाम, तो she said नहीं बेटा तू इन चीज़ों के लिए नहीं बननी, तू कर लेगी, just keep faith in yourself. And she used to say one thing, that everything is there is something planned for you, everything is leading toward it, but you just keep the patience. And मेन चीज़ एक लाइन है उनकी कि अगर तुम अभी हार्ड वर्क नहीं करोगे और पुराने की चीज़ के सोचते रहोगे तो यू विल नॉट मूव फर्दर, इंस्टेड यू आर मूविंग बैकवर्ड्स. सो हार्ड वर्क का कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है. ये उनका है कि हार्ड वर्क का कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है, और हार्ड वर्क करते रहोगे तो आगे तो बढ़ते ही रहोगे, और अगर रुक गए यहाँ पे तो रुके नहीं रहोगे, यहाँ पे पीछे मूव करना शुरू कर दोगे. तो ये लाइन है, जब भी मेरा पढ़ने का मन नहीं करता तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है मैं पीछे जा रही हूँ. तो वो चीज़ एक इमेजिनेशन होता है ना कि ऐसे कोई पीछे खींच रहा है, तो ये इमेजिनेशन करके फिर मम्मी की बात याद आती है, फिर मैं पढ़ना शुरू करती हूँ, नहीं आगे जाना है, पीछे नहीं जाना.
But eventually, you have turned your mother's vision of seeing you in a uniform turned true, right?
Yes.
So if I may ask, there are certain myths that CAPF exam is very tough. Is it so?
So if you are not prepared, then it's tough. And if you are well prepared, then it will be easy.
Cakewalk, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think so it will be a cakewalk.
Sir, if you are well prepared, if you have done your standard books thoroughly, you have made notes, you have revised them multiple times, then I think CAPF is something you can clear very easily. Because I think if again I'm saying that अगर मैं कर सकती हूँ तो कोई भी कर सकता है, to be honest.
तो रौनक multiple attempts चाहिए इसको clear करने के लिए?
Sir, नहीं.
One dedicated attempt is more
One
than
dedicated attempt.
One dedicated will be more than enough.
And for as a goal, I think the physical efficiency test has been the hurdle. Because मैंने generally पिछले बार भी देखा था, अभी देखा था, अगर 24 लड़कियाँ हैं तो 5 लड़कियाँ पास कर रही हैं, और इस बार भी सिर्फ लास्ट टाइम सिर्फ 4 नहीं किया था। तो ये फिजिकल एफिशिएंसी टेस्ट पे अगर ज़्यादा अच्छे से फोकस कर लेता, आई थिंक ज़्यादा लड़कियां लिस्ट में दिखने लग जाएंगे।
So for you, what was the most challenging stage?
So for me, the physical, and I think the interview part was the most challenging because you don't know कि कहाँ से क्या prepare करना है। Everything seems to be important और पता नहीं कहाँ पे रुकना है। For example, I'm preparing for the उत्तर प्रदेश, so literally earlier I don't know कि कहाँ पे रुकना है। फिर then you suggested कि बस current affairs कर लो तो ठीक है। So there is no syllabus for the interview. It can be asked from anywhere, and you have to work on your confidence and your personality. So I think the physical and the interview part was most challenging for me, and I worked very hard for both the stages. Okay. For specifically for the interview part. For the interview part, and your preference was CISF. Yes, sir, my preference was CISF.
So any last tip for the further aspirant, future aspirants for CAPF?
So यही है कि कभी अपने आप को सेल्फ डाउट मत करो, और जैसे मैं एक लाइन ये मेरी थी कि अगर हार्ड वर्क का कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है, इफ किसी को लग रहा है कि वो कुछ शॉर्टकट से हो जाएगा, किसी और के नोट्स पढ़ के पास कर लेगा, तो हार्ड वर्क का कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है। और ऐसा नहीं है कि तुमको 10-12 घंटे डेली पढ़ना है, नहीं होता। और तुम 7-8 घंटे पढ़ रहे हो, और ऐसा में डेली 7-8 घंटे पढ़ो, 1-2 घंटे भी कई बार पढ़ रहे होते हैं। और सब मेरा तो है कि जब बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है चीज़ें तो रो लो, ठीक हो जाता है सब कुछ। क्योंकि होता है, कोई बताता ही नहीं है, सारे टॉपर हम तो ये कर रहे थे, हम तो वो कर रहे थे, पर नहीं, एक एस्पिरेंट को रोना पड़ता है कोने में बैठ के, तब उसको एनर्जी मिलती है कि नहीं आगे बढ़ना है, अपने सारे माइंड को क्लियर करके कि हार्ड वर्क आज का है, कल दिखेगा।
Oh, this is some true story I'm hearing.
Yes,
because generally no one talks about that. Yes, I cried a lot throughout my journey.
नहीं सर, रो रो के तो बढ़ रहे हैं आगे, कैसे होगा वरना? क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा मेंटल प्रेशर होता है। एक बीइंग अ फीमेल एस्पिरेंट बहुत ज़्यादा मेंटल प्रेशर होता है कि यू आर 25 एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू क्लियर एनीथिंग। पूरा फैमिली बैकग्राउंड का, एज आई एम कमिंग फ्रॉम द रूरल बैकग्राउंड, तो बहुत प्रेशर होता है उधर से। मेरे पापा को बोलते हैं कि तू क्या अपनी बेटी के ऊपर इतना खर्च करे जा रहा है, बिकॉज वी आर फ्रॉम द मिडिल क्लास फैमिली, तो क्यों खर्च कर रहा है, इतने में तो उसकी शादी हो जाती है, अब तक इतने पैसों में तो जितने तूने इसके ऊपर लगा दिए। पर यह है कि पापा को सपोर्ट था तो उन्होंने पुश किया आगे। और मेन बात है कि कोई बताते नहीं कि इतने चैलेंजेस होते हैं, और वो सबके साथ होते हैं चैलेंजेस। तो ये है कि इन जो भी चैलेंजेस हैं, जस्ट थिंक कि सबके साथ हैं, यू आर नॉट अलोन इन दिस जर्नी। सब मेहनत कर रहे हैं, मेहनत करेंगे तो कुछ ना कुछ तो मिल जाएगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो है जो तुम्हारे लिए है, बस लगे रहो उसी चीज़ में, हो जाएगा।
Oh, it was so inspiring, and it was great interacting with you. And
thank you, sir.
We at ForumIAS, we believe that you will surely excel in your future endeavors.
Yes.
Okay, and again, many congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And have a very nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.